Hey everyone, I've just got my hands on the first KT2200 juicer in the country, I believe, from Juiceproducer.com. So I'm going to show you, put the camera down on this now and show you all the different parts. And then today I'm actually going to video the very first time I'm using it. I've never used I've never used a mascinating juicer before, which is the one that cold presses. Normally I have the centrifugal juicer, which is this popular Philips 1800 Series 1, which I spent about 70 quid on. This one is on Juice Producer around 330 quid, but obviously check their website for the latest prices. So let me just put the camera down on it, and then I'll show you the different parts, and then you can figure out if it's good. I'm not a professional juicer, I just started doing it. So here's the first thing that you get. It's kind of like the basin where all the juice goes into. So this is my first time assembling it. I've already washed the parts, stick that on top, it's fairly easy. Next part that goes in is the little silicone cleaning bit that cleans the inside, and on the bottom of it is the teeth which the motor push around. So that goes in there. If you see the unboxing video that I did, you'll see that all the parts look really kind of expensive and hard wearing. There's the mesh, so that will pop straight in the top here as well. Oh, and then you've got these like red dots where you align it up at the top of the juicer. So that is not difficult at all to get in. And then this heavy auger, which as you can see, it's got twin blades. So as the vegetable goes in, it slices it and then pushes it through this system and squeezes out all the juice. So that pops in. The top fits in there nicely. And then the top part, which actually isn't difficult at all to put in. And then your thing that pushes the vegetables down. What else you get with it as well, if you saw on the unboxing video, is these two cool litre jugs. They're marked 200, 400, 600, 800, and I guess the top is a litre. One goes up front here for the to capture the juice out the front, and then one goes at the side to capture the rubbish. But what we're going to do today is I'm actually going to juice the same exact vegetable quantities and fruit quantities in the fillets at the same time as this. So you get an idea roughly in terms of what the time difference is and then what the juice output difference is. So I'm going to take the wastage one from here, and just to make sure it's all even, I'm going to stick it in front of here. And then to see how much waste you get out of the side of this, I'm just going to get a dry piece of tissue paper, because people are always tripping off how much moisture comes out of the wastage, and then we'll do the same with that one. So let's just start, just so you see what we're working with. Each of these machines is going to get 2 celery. What else have we got? So each one we've got 2 celery here, 2 celery here. We've got 1 piece of ginger here, 1 green apple, 1 piece of broccoli, 2 carrots, and then the same on this side. So 1 red apple. Oh yeah, we've got a pear on each side as well. So pear here, broccoli, 2 carrots, and a bit of ginger. So hopefully you can see all that stuff there. And then we're just going to go ahead and start juicing it. Now the one difference is here, oh yeah, and we've also got kale and spinach. So I'll put a handful of each of those in. Now you need to, with this one, you need to actually chop up the bits that before they go in, the vegetables and fruits, because the top bit's only got that kind of much space in there. Whereas if you look at this one, it's really popular because you can put in whole fruits. So you see like Jason Vale talking about how it's really convenient just to get a whole apple inside there. And then on this one as well, you've got the centrifugal blades, which obviously go in there and mash it up. The reason why I got this one, like most people, is because when this spins around really fast, it introduces a lot of air and it can kill a lot of the cells in the fruit. That's what they say. And this one being a cold press, it's supposed to get a lot more nutrients out and altogether make a better juice. This is around 70 quid, this is around 330, so vastly different products. So let's just make a start. First up, I'm gonna top and tail these carrots. Chuck that crap out the way, and then slice this into what I think will be the right kind of shapes to fit inside here. See now, this is a very small apple and it still won't fit inside that gap up top. So I'll just show you, won't go in there. So it looks like apples will need to be quartered, which I'm assuming is going to be the same with the pears. just do real quick. I hate when people do stuff real time online because it just takes a long time to watch it, but at least you're seeing how real it takes. You can look at the counter on YouTube and see how long it's taken. Right, so now I've just quartered up a green apple, a red apple, and a pear. And then I've got some broccoli here as well, which I'll just rip open with my hands. And then we've got the carrots ready to go in, the ginger, the celery, and then the kale and the spinach. And it's supposed to be, these slow ones are supposed to be better for getting juice out of the greens anyway. So first up, let me switch this on, switch them both on, hit on this. As you notice, it doesn't make that much sound. If we do like a sound test, a juicer sound clash, that's well loud. That's just like a hardcore Vibes Cartel Jamaican sound clash sound system, and this is like a night at the opera, quite quiet. So first thing goes in are the apples. Slicing up pretty easy. I'm going to move this out of the way, and the crap should start coming out on this side. Yeah, actually, this is quite a lot of juice coming out on this side. I'm going to just use that there. I'm going to use the capture device from this one because there's actually a fair bit of juice coming out. Stick the quarter apple in, 3/4 of the apple, 4th quarter of the apple, that's all in there now. Same with the pears. Doesn't really need pushing down, just seems to go down itself pretty easy. Take the broccoli, chuck that in there as well. The broccoli is kind of stubborn, so stick that in there. Actually, when you push it, it comes out way quicker. Whoop. Carrots are falling down the side. When you push it, the results are a lot quicker. Again, with this carrot, quite a thick carrot, is not making its way into the juicer. So even the carrot needs to be sliced. This way. Chuck it in the top there. But actually, once it's sliced, the gravity does the rest of the work. Pretty easy. Let's see what's up with some cucumber as well. We'll take a piece of cucumber like that. Give it a quick rinse. Chuck that in. That still needs pushing down actually, to be quite honest. What you're getting out of here is actually quite dry. I've not seen any kind of roughage come out as dry as that before. Not too much wastage at all. Let's try the kale. I was going to get like one generous handful. You can kind of chuck it on top, and then there's a little tray at the top, and then I guess you can just feed it in as much as you can at a time. It's not, actually I've been using this Philips one for a long time, like a couple of years. And you get used to the convenience of having such a wide vegetable chute up top. This is definitely way more tricky to do. But once it's in, it juices the hell out of it. And you get some really good juice coming out here. Same generous handful of spinach. Just chuck that in there. Now, as I mentioned, this is brand new. This is the KT2200. The bragging point on this is that it's very, very slow revolutions per minute in terms of how slowly it juices the vegetables. So you're looking at 47 revolutions per minute, whereas the KT100 was in the 80s. So I guess the theory is the slower it's done, the better juice you're going to get out. So that's it. And then finally, the celery. It really goes down like some scene from a horror film, man. Slowly gets chopped away. Still a lot of like, that's damn near dry, man. That's like the craziest, driest wastage you get out of any juicer. Chuck that in there, bang. And that is your results, done. It's a lot of juice. Just let it finish up. It is a slow juicer, so it takes a while. It keeps coming out. Whilst that's still doing that, we may as well start on this one. Very different altogether. I'll top and tail the carrots. Same size carrots. Got some cucumber as well. The only difference with this one is you need to sandwich the green leaves in. So you put an apple in first, then and see how easy it was to put that apple in. Then you put in your spinach up top. It's kind of going everywhere. You put in your kale as well. And then you stick in, let's say, a pear. Doesn't need to be sliced, pretty cool. This is still giving some juice. Let's just start this. Comes out like Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator style. Chuck in the extra apple, the ginger, the broccoli, 2 carrots, the cucumber, chuck it all in. Totally makes light work of the juicing. And that's it, done. We'll let that carry on just for a second. I think we juiced everything. I'm sure I put the ginger inside here as well, but ginger's not going to make the world's biggest difference. I'll go ahead and switch that off. Go ahead and switch that off. So that's your 2 juices. This one's still continuing just to make a bit more juice there. And then what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can kind of bring the camera forward. 2 minutes into it settling, the juice amount here is below the 400 mark, like 370 ml. Whereas this just feels like all juice and towards the 600 ml. So realistically, you're probably getting about 50% more juice out of this, it looks like. Also, this is separating a lot more, and the colors, if you look at the top of the juice, they're already kind of going brown and there's a lot of froth. It tastes great, it tastes what you're used to. This one, a lot more kind of green. The 2 colors actually are a lot more greener on the KT2200 one, which kind of lets you know that this juice is still very much more alive. Give it a quick stir. Give it a quick stir. And I think that's where it really becomes interesting, because now they're both juice. This one again looks like it's gone up, but once that settles, the actual net juice is going to go down. But the actual 2 colors, this one is your 2200 KT Juiceproducer one, and this is your Philips one. Now this one is a juicer that's going to cost you 60, 70, 80 quid. This one might run you around the 300 mark, but you see they've just produced completely different products altogether. Now taste test, let me just get 2 glasses. We'll take a sip of the Philips one and a sip of this one. Even in the glass, you just see as the minutes go on, this one just starts literally deteriorating away into mush. I mean, we're probably about 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes after the juice has been made there, and that all the cells look like they're just completely, they've had their glory point, whereas this is still bright green. Taste wise, this is the one that I'm used to. Let me bring the camera back, because we're done with the juicer bits now. It tastes good. You taste air in it. It tastes really frothy still. It's like for people used to drinking this juice, it has that kind of cappuccino frothy kind of fruit taste to the top of it. That is like having all the vegetables shoved into your mouth at once from this one. It's a completely different drink. On the downside, it doesn't taste as sweet. And I think this one probably tastes sweeter because of the heat that's introduced, or the chopping, or I don't know if it has the effect on the sugariness of it. It's a lot lighter though. That just feels like drinking nothing now. That just feels like drinking, almost like drinking tap water compared to this. But this literally tastes like you've just taken a farm and just shoved it in your mouth. So it's a completely different product. I think you're not going to go wrong if you go with one of these, particularly if you're looking at doing a juicing diet where you need to get the maximum amount of nutrients. Just to finish up, there's your wastage. Literally no wastage at all, and to touch it, it's dry, man. Like, you can see that. It's just, I mean, it's not dust obviously, and there's still a bit of moisture in there, but just look at the way it crumbles. It's kind of like a very dry biscuit oat kind of crumbling. Whereas with this one, for anybody who's had it before, I already know what it's like. Let's just take some of the Let's just take some of the juice up here that's kind of stuck inside and all in the back here. Let's just look at the net difference in wastage actually. I'm going to bring the camcorder over here. Here's your wastage. From this. I'll bring the camcorder over here. So from your KT2200, that's your net wastage. Really nothing in there. In terms of water, there was a bit of juice obviously spilled here before, but there's no real water coming from the actual KT2200. That's all kind of compact. You can squeeze it, and then you kind of get a little bit of moisture coming through, but not much. I mean, that is dry for real. Like, that's almost like a cricket ball now. Let's get some more tissue paper. Stick it down here. Take the stuff just from inside the lid. There's about that much wastage just from inside the lid. So chuck all that in there. Already it's kind of wet underneath the tissue here. Then you get always a little bit of waste inside the mesh. Take the mesh out. Wash that crap up in a bit. This is obviously, the wastage up here is very, very wet to the point where it's still dripping. So there's that. Then you've got your bonus stuff over here. Holy crap. That's almost more than the tissue can actually grab hold of in terms of vegetable and fruit. So compare that as I lift it up. I mean, look, I can just squeeze this. It's going to cost me later on in washing it, but this is all the juice. Let me get a mug or something. From the Phillips, there's still, you can actually squeeze it through the, god damn, there's a lot there. You can still squeeze a ton of what you'd think would be nutrients. So there's your wastage from the Phillips, and there's your wastage from the KT. The KT is completely dry, and this one is really essentially soaking wet and a lot bigger, a lot more crap comes out of it, and there's still juice that could have ended up having some nutrient value. Completely different products. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And finally, a little tip for those of you who are looking at juicing, which I picked up. It's always wondering about how to store your juice. So these are those Dalibut's coffee jars. They're made of glass, and as you can see, they've got the kind of plastic, they've got this glass lip around here with the plastic seal, so it's airtight because it's meant for coffee. Soak that, take the label off. Let's see if I can do it now. Yeah, soak this. Get rid of all that adhesive label bit here, up here. Soak it in some hot water. You end up with one of these. And what they say about these masculine juices is the juice lasts a lot longer. Just bring these juices back into the mix again. Again, this is your Phillips one, light green. This one's your masculine juice, dark green. You can just chuck this inside here. If you work from home or whatever, you got a lunch break, you know that that's pretty much still going to be okay when you come back 4, 5, 6 hours later. This one I'm going to finish up right now because it's the last of the nutrient value that's in there. I hope you found this useful. The first, hopefully, KT2200A juicer review. And if you want to reach out to me and let me know about juice, because I'm no expert, if you do juice, if you're veggie, vegan, you do any of these kind of quirky health things, go on picnics and take apples with you or whatever, then just hit me up at Rajkatecha on Twitter. I'm interested. I want to learn more about this. I think that juicing and mixing vegetables is as interesting as juicing, well, as mixing music. So So get at me. All right, cool. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this.